Hey, what's up guys, Radku here back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today is going to be Igknight Infernoble. I am so sorry I haven't posted a video in like a week. Like honestly, I've had a lot of decks in the workshop and I kind of just needed a small break, but I am back and hopefully stronger than ever. So today is going to be Igknight Infernoble. This deck is busted. Like I'm talking, this is probably like one of the strongest like variants of Infernoble you can play, specifically because of the Igknight cards. The Igknight cards are highly underrated this format, and really they provide another layer of just pure interaction that the Infernoble cards don't provide by themselves. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting things off, I play 3 copies of all of the Igknights. Literally, I max out on all of the Pendulum Igknight cards because these cards are pure consistency. Literally, you play 31 Igknight cards, including all of the Ignites, Summoner's Art, Painful Decision, Rhoda. Plus, you play the additional Durandal, but you want to search other stuff off of Durandal, so you know. But the thing is that I'll just read one of them. If you have an Igknight card in your other Pendulum Zone, you can destroy both cards and in your Pendulum Zone, and if you do, add a Fire Warrior monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So first, these cards cannot be ashed. That's one of the craziest things about these cards, is that Ash Blossom has 0 effect on them because they don't destroy for cost. These cards don't have any cost. Basically, the idea is that if your opponent ashes it, you can still use its effect again because it's not a once per turn, so it doesn't even matter if you hard draw into multiple copies of them because you can infinitely loop them. Like, I wish there was a more effective way of looping them to like just search your entire deck, but for now there really isn't a way. But we still have 30 some odd copies of them in the deck, and this just bumps the consistency up like crazy. So for the non-Igknight cards, I play 1 copy of Gearfried because this card's easily searchable and is actually really helpful in your end board. I play 3 copies of Infernoble Knight Renaud because Renaud is like insane. It's easily searchable and it provides just so much power during your combos that it's insane. The thing about the Igknight that's so good is that they can search basically your entire deck. I play 3 copies of Oliver because this card's basically an extender on top of the fact that you have a soft lock you can do with Oliver. I play 1 copy of Ogier. I really want to bump this up to 2 because this actually does provide a ton of stuff with your Igknight cards, more than the normal Infernoble stuff, but I kind of just wanted to play a few other things. I play 1 copy of Magius. I've been thinking about cutting this for another copy of Ogier, but the thing is that Magius like provides nothing on the field, nor does it provide really anything in the graveyard. I mainly use it for its equip effect, where you can equip it and then it can be destroyed by battle. So the thing is, I'm trying to make an indestructible Oliver, where it can't be targeted, it can't be destroyed, your opponent can only target it, and it's indestructible. But the thing is that it doesn't come up a lot unless I hard draw into Ogier, even though Ogier is searchable. So like, there's a lot of stuff that happens there, and it's easily able to be pulled off, but I haven't done it a ton, and I'm really debating on cutting it for another copy of Ogier, just because it has a lot more capabilities. I played 3 copies of Sublimation Knight and 1 copy of Squeak Knight, just because this card is a 1-card Isolde, but the reason I play this over the Connector engine is because it doesn't need your normal summon. Realize it does specify that you can normal or special summon it, meaning that you can actually Pendulum summon it and still get the effect off while keeping your normal summon for more desperate times. 1 copy of Squeak Knight, of course, for the play. I play 1 copy of Fireflint Lady. This might seem weird, like why would you play 1 copy of Fireflint? Well, the thing is that this provides pure extension. What makes this busted, and the reason I only play 1 is because it's easily searchable off the Igknight cards and it's a free extender for the deck. So there's always a choke point in the deck, right around the Hacklefibrax Auroradon area, where like you just need these cards to go off, which like sometimes if they don't go off, you can easily search stuff like Fireflint Lady to help it do extension plays, and it does change your combo a lot, but it's still really, really good. So for the bricks, I played 1 copy of 001, 1 copy of Coltwing, and 2 copies of Genba. So the reason I played 2 copies of Genba, not only is because sometimes they'll ash your Isolde, but also because it provides plays with Shooting Riser Dragon, which I'll show off the combo in a second. But like this lineup of bricks, having 6 bricks might seem crazy, but it's a 60 card list on top of the fact that most of the bricks you can play with in your hand, save Coltwing, and even then you can play with Coltwing in your hand because you can literally pendulum summon it. So the thing is that this deck basically has 0 bricks. I played 3 copies of Heritage and 3 copies of Durandal because they're basically more Infernoble cards, and it bumps the consistency of the deck up like crazy. I played 2 copies of Living Fossil, 1 copy of DDR, 1 copy of Phoenix Blade, and 1 copy of Metal Silver. So the thing is that like this is the optimal lineup for this deck because it's a 60 card list. Because Living Fossil, if you hard draw into it, like during your normal combo, you actually use Renaud to get back your Living Fossil, and that actually provides just another free negation. Which like that'll surprise you, but it actually literally just sets up another free Herald. So like the thing is that like Living Fossil is very important to your combo, while the other ones aren't as important, save for Metal Silver. It's still all the other ones still do come up, especially Phoenix Blade. So that is it for the main deck. Going into the extra deck, 2 copies of Isolde. This is hand trap bait. Literally, you don't even care. Plus, you can search your Igknight cards, which can actually still be utilized because you can't normal summon or activate their monster effects, but they're not considered monsters. So you can actually use their pendulum effects, meaning that like it's really doesn't matter if you add an Igknight card because you literally can continue to fuel it. I play 1 copy Hulk and 1 copy of Auroradon. These cards are mandatory. You need to have them go off. I play 1 copy of Access. This card is free OTK. I played 3 copies of Herald, or 2 copies of Herald. You actually make 2 of them in your combo. I played 1 copy of Power Tool. You don't really use this in your combo, however, it is good for a different combo route. I played 1 copy of Boral Savage because it sets up more negation. 1 copy of Balmung because this literally is so insane for the deck. 1 copy of Charles because Charles is the GOAT. It literally makes a soft lock on your opponent that is really, really powerful. I played 1 copy of Shooting Riser because it's part of the combo. 1 copy of F.A. Dawn Dragster because like even though it's not part of the combo, you can change it up a little bit and go into this on top of like another Herald, but I prefer double Omni negates as opposed to the single Dawn Dragster. I played 1 copy of Final Sigma. I could cut this pretty easily, but it's basically an indestructible monster because of how big it is and how much that it's unaffected. Plus, it's a good way to just swing into your opponent a ton if like you come across something where you get hand trapped a lot. Plus, this card actually is a way to play through Nibiru because it's a level 12. So if you can get a level 1 synchro or tuner out on the field, such as Oliver, which becomes a level 1, you can actually just use them to go into this just because of how generic it is. So then I play 1 copy of Roland to round out the extra deck. But that is pretty much it for the list. Let's go into the combos. So with this list, this is why you play so many Igknight cards. Igknights are free consistency on top of the fact that they're like literally immune to Ash Blossom. So the thing is that drawing 5 Igknight cards, like even if this was an Igknight card, it would actually be better if Renaud was an Igknight card, but like I'll just show you the play. So you scale 2 of them, you can pendulum summon 2. So the thing is that you can use those for links. So the idea, like I got most of this from Steven Trifonowski. He basically, the idea of the deck is that you pendulum summon before you do anything so that you can save your normal summon to help play through hand traps. So you could use Isolde, search out another Igknight, which is why you would have wanted a 5th Igknight in your hand as opposed to an Infernoble card. Because the thing is that then you could have used the effects again, but it's fine for now. So then we used Isolde, sending 2. This was a list before I put in the silver armor, so I did not send that. I would have sent 4 to summon Oliver, but I just chose not to. So then I linked off into Hulk effect, to summon the 001. Now, there is a different combo route where you use the Igknight cards to pop themselves and search a Gearfried, but I chose not to do that, because it does screw up the combo a little bit, because there is easily an anti-Nibiru combo, anti-Ash Blossom to protect your Hulk, and it's actually really important that you could do that, but I chose not to, considering that it was single player, just to show off how powerful this deck is. So Auroradon, summon the 3 tokens, 001, summon that. This is the only deck that properly utilizes Auroradon and 001, and this is why I think these Hulk, 001, and Auroradon won't get hit, because this is the only deck that properly utilizes it, or that utilizes it at all. I summoned Shooting Riser Dragons, dumping the Genba. So this is the reason why I did this, because it lowers its level by 2, so it goes from level 7 to level 5. Then it can synchro with Coltwing to become a level 9 synchro, which is how you can get into Charles really easily. So Phoenix Blade will banish 2 to add back to hand, and then you can use Charles popping the Balmung and then summon 2 tokens. So the reason you don't want to just go into your plays right here is, 1, because you get Charles on the field, which gives you pops, which is important to use Balmung, but also this allows you to set up your soft lock. So then I summoned 001 back, use those to synchro into a Herald. Now you can use Renaud's effect since you control Charles, then you can add back the Living Fossil. And then you can actually synchro those 2 into a Borreload Savage Dragon. Now this might seem weird, because like, how can a level 4 and a level 1 make a Borreload Savage Dragon? But the thing is that one thing that people don't realize is that Coltwing actually gains the levels of the if the level is increased based off of the level of all the Mecha Phantom Beast tokens you control. So in most circumstances it would actually be kind of annoying, but in this circumstance it is insane, because that means you can easily go into Borreload Savage Dragon, and at this point your combo is already immune to everything. So then you can summon back the 001, you can synchro into the Herald, so now you have 3 negations. Then you can use the Margrave and the Paladin to search the Gearfried, banish off a Gearfried to summon the Gearfried, and then Charles can equip 2. So the thing is that, like, so the reason you want to dump the Metal Silver is because you can equip the Oliver. So the different way you can go about this combo is, instead of sending 2 to summon Genba, what you do is you send 4 to summon Oliver. So that way you have your Oliver in the grave to pre-prep your combo. So that way you can equip it to Charles. So that way you can make it immune to card effects, can't be targeted, and can only be targeted. So it gives a soft lock. So this board is a 4 negate board, because Gearfried, it doesn't have to be equipped to itself. It just has to be equipped to it just has to be equipped, which is actually insane, meaning that you have a 4 negate board and access code potential next turn, because usually you don't burn through all your heralds. One thing I learned while playing this deck is that you want to play around cards like Torrential Tribute. You want to be really careful. So either way, you have OTK with Gearfried, Boral, Charles, and Auroradon, but if you really wanted to, you could just link these two into the access code and the extra deck, which is the only reason why I play it. Like get rid of like some monsters your opponent might have on the field if they manage to summon any, and then just beat into them and just destroy them next turn. And this combo is hyper consistent considering that we play 30 Ignite cards. And this deck is just insane, and I would definitely suggest going into the future. But that is it for the combos. Let's go into my final thoughts. So I might still sound like Steve, but like seriously, this deck is probably the best variant of Igknight or Infernoble that you can play. This deck just provides so much consistency, and as I said earlier, like this is insane, and it's a highly, highly underrated deck because the 60 card Ignite, that they just fuel consistency so much in the deck that it's just insane. The deck never bricks. Like it rarely bricks if you draw into like a bunch of useless cards, like all of your bricks, which is highly unlikely. But even if you do brick, you still almost always have a way of going into his Zold, which means that you can easily go into your combo from there, and that is what makes this deck insane. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, let me know what you thought, and let me know if there's anything you would change about the list. Would you change up the Igknight lineup despite the fact that this provides the most consistency you can find? Would you change up the bricks? Would you cut out like double Genba? And yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'll see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Peace, guys.